Hello, peoples. This is Tracey here at Talking with Tracey, the Ride to Self-Love. Thanks for joining me here tonight. I'm sorry that I'm coming on late here. There was some kind of a glitch that happened. I actually already recorded the whole thing and noticed that it didn't even create the video on Facebook. So welcome to the technical world of Tracey, where strange things can happen. So I'm going to give this one more go. And if no one comes on again, I'll just assume that something's wrong with the program I use for this in Facebook right now. So anyhow, it is Friday night, and I'm here and talking about compassion with detachment. What brought this on for me is that I've had some situations recently where it's been really difficult for me to watch people making what I consider to be bad choices. And by bad choices, I mean things that put their life at risk, things that put their wellness at risk, things that put their relationships at risk, things that put themselves at risk. And it's been hard for me witnessing that. So that's what I wanted to talk about, because I noticed that it was hurting my heart and that I've been struggling with it a little bit. And so I thought that, you know what, other people struggle with this too, because I know that we've all watched people that we love making choices that we may consider to be bad decisions. It could be in relationships where someone keeps choosing that exact same relationship pattern, or an abusive relationship pattern. It can be with people's jobs. It can be with how people spend money, people overspending, like spending money that they don't have, that they don't necessarily need to spend, things like that. There's all sorts of things that people do that self-sabotage themselves. And when we're watching people self-sabotage, watching people make decisions that make their lives harder, it can be difficult for the people who love them to sit back and witness this and watch. That's the spot that I've found myself in, a bunch lately. And afterwards, I may end up in tears. I may end up crying because I'm watching someone suffer who doesn't need to suffer. If they would just make a different choice, things would be so much better. And in those moments, I put my hands over my heart and I allow myself to feel that sadness. I allow myself to feel the pain of witnessing someone put themselves through pain. And I can do that right now. I love the me who's having to witness this. I love the me who's hurting. I can send compassion for them and love for them. I can send a prayer out for them that hopefully sometime soon they do something different. But if I've already told them, what I think might help them, I'm not going to say it 100 times to them. That's not my place to do that. The reality is people aren't looking for advice unless they ask for advice. Unless they say, hey, I'd love some advice on that. Usually people aren't looking for advice. So there are further steps with this issue that can really help us in our own lives. The big one for me the biggest one actually has to do with this. In my own life, I have been at some horrible, down in the gutter, low places where almost dead kind of low. And I can look back on all of it and say I was exactly where I needed to be in order to get to where I am today. So it wasn't where I wanted to be, but it was where I needed to be in order for my lessons to unfold, in order for me to learn the things I came to learn here on earth. That's what I had to do, apparently. If I had to make the same mistake 50 times or 100 times before I learned it, then so be it. I had to make the mistake 50 times or 100 times, but I eventually learned the lessons, hopefully. And that's gotten me to where I am today, where I'm making a lot less of those big doozy of mistakes. Doesn't mean I don't make mistakes, but I'm not making those big whopping ones anymore that are almost killing me. So I've been able to look back and say, you know what, I was always where I needed to be. I was always where I was supposed to be, even if it's not where I wanted to be. Well, the reality is that everyone else is too. A lot of us aren't where we want to be, but we're where we need to be in order to figure out those karmic lessons, the things that the pattern that keeps happening and over again. When people say, why does this relationship pattern keep happening? Why do I keep ending up with these same, jerk guys, or these same whatever the case may be? And it's like, because you're making the exact same choice. Make a different choice. And that's what I finally had to figure out, I had to figure out to make a different choice. It never dawned on me for years that drugs and alcohol was part of my own problem. I had no idea. I blamed it on my ex. I blamed all my problems on my family. I blamed it on the people who raised me. I blamed it on all sorts of things. And there were some bad things that happened in my life, but can I blame every bad choice that I made on the rest of the universe? No. I had to figure out at some point that I was making some choices that were really leading to self-sabotage and this continuing chaos in my life. So when I opened my business, White Feather, the first thing I noticed was that when people came in the door, like people were coming for healing and people were coming for help. And I could see immediately what I thought they needed. I have no idea what they needed, but I saw and I wanted to rescue everyone. I wanted to save everyone. That was going to kill me. And I realized that very quickly because there's a lot of people that come through the doors and I can't rescue everyone. I can't save everyone. I'm not powerful enough to do that. No one ever gave me that job in the universe. No one said, Tracey, it's your job to rescue everyone. My job is to shine the light. My job is to be who I am, shine the light, and the people who are attracted to that, great. They'll come and ask me how I got that light. And they might ask to, how to figure out how to turn their own light on. But it's not my job to turn that light on for other people. And it's not my job to change other people or to show them the way or anything like that. And that's what and that was a job-changing realization, was that and that's how I figured out this whole idea of compassion with detachment, like recognizing that people are where they're supposed to be. So I have compassion, but I've also detached from the outcome of our interaction or whatever. So when people come to me for help and they ask me for help and healing and everything, I give them 200% of my best. I give them my absolute best. What they do with that is 100% up to them. It's not up to me, it's not up to me if they get it today, or if they figure it out next week, or if they figure it out next year, or if they figure it out next lifetime. That's out of my control. All I can do is shine my light as brightly as I can shine it and hope that someone else gets the light and understands the light. And that's all I can do. That's all that's within my power to do. And so I have really had to teach myself to detach from being attached to the outcome of what they do, the outcome of their choices, the outcome of their learning, their growth, the outcome of the conversation between the two of us as to whether or not a light bulb goes off and goes click, click, or whether it doesn't. And the same goes for all of us. So I know that those of you who are listening to this or watching this, that you have experiencing with family members, with friends, with people that you love, situations where it looks to you like they're making the same bad choice over and over again, and then it turns out really badly, and they're given the same advice again, and it's still the same, and you want to, it's like, why can't you just see that you're being your own worst enemy? No. Support, love, compassion with detachment. There's a life lesson that's trying to unfold there, and it's not up to us to teach. You can't. You honestly can't. It doesn't matter. The only time that you can reach down and help someone up with your hand is when they're already reaching up with their hand. They really need to be reaching up and saying, someone please come get me, and that's when we can help someone and help them up, is when they're ready for it. We can't force that on someone. And it's most difficult when it's people's children, people's siblings, people's loved ones and family who are most dear to their heart, to have to sit back and just let them make their mistakes and figure it out. And if we're hurting or we're suffering through that, the thing that we do have control over is how we treat ourselves. I love the me who's struggling with this. I love the me who's struggling with watching other people harm themselves and make choices that are leading to hurt in their lives. And I can pray to God that they make a new choice soon. But I can also pray to the universe that I learn how to let go of other people's choices, other people's karma, other people's life story, and when it's supposed to unfold and how it's supposed to unfold. It's not my job to force it to unfold in any way whatsoever. And that's what I'm talking about, compassion with detachment, being detached from the outcome. This is something you can practice in your own life. It doesn't happen overnight. I've gotten much better at it than I used to be, because when I first opened the doors of White Feather, I wanted to rescue everyone. And not only did I give my 200%, I was 200% attached to how the story turned out. I had to find a different way to do that, because I can't control the choices that other people are going to make. I can't control the outcome. I can't walk them down that path. I can walk down the path with them, but I can't walk them down the path. You can't walk them down the path. You can guide them. You can be there as a friend. You can show the way. You can hold the light up brightly, and you can light the path out, but you can't force people to walk down it. And that's the part that becomes difficult. That's the part that I've been struggling a bit with lately, is just watching some people make decisions that break my heart. Yet I'm still cheering for them. You know, if I see them succeed, I'm cheering them on, and I think that's wonderful, but I have to let go of if they're not quite getting there yet. If they're not there yet today, let go of that. You still have my compassion. You still have my support. But I can't do this for you. You have to do it for yourself. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, was that topic. I hope something here helped you in some way. I know this can be a difficult topic because many of us have loved ones who we watch make choices that are really difficult. But it's something that we have to have some healthy coping tools around. Like, we need to have tools to help with this so that we don't suffer with them, because we don't have to suffer with them. That's a choice. It's a choice for us to suffer alongside or not. It doesn't help the situation any to. What we're being asked is to live our life, to go on, to love, and to send our love out to everyone who needs it. We can't focus it all in on one person who's refusing to accept it right now. All right. So, put your arms around yourself. Feel a big hug from me and all the love I'm sending out. I want you to send yourself some love now. I want you to say, I love me. And I want you to have yourself a wonderful evening. Thanks so much for coming on, guys. Have a great night.